Okay, so I also want to explain a little bit more in depth what a strong thesis will look like for this essay because we didn't have that much time to talk about it in class. So, um, as you all read for homework, there are some characteristics that strong argumentative theses generally have. They go beyond just like announcing the subject you're going to be writing about and make specific enough claims. They also often like position themselves in relation to what other people have said before, so they contain a they say, um, and position themselves in the academic conversation. Um, they need to be complex. They can't just be like very black and white, and they have to be arguable and non-trivial. So um, a thesis like the sky is blue might be very easy to defend and it might be 100% true, but it's not a strong thesis because there's no point in making that argument, right? Um, Once you kind of know what your stance is, you also want to be sure that you um, express the what and why of your thesis. So don't just say what you're arguing, but give the reader a sense of why you're arguing it. And you might also even give them a sense of how you plan to go about making that argument. Like what types of evidence, what types of support are you going to provide in the rest of your essay to support the stance that you're putting forward. So I want to give you all a quick example of what it might look like to move from like a pretty good working thesis to a polished revised thesis, which is what you all will hopefully be working toward in the assignment this week. So this is an actual student. This is an example of an actual student's thesis before and after. So the before is, quote, the demanding hours for medical residents is bad for residents and patients. It's definitely a claim, and it's arguable, and it has a point, but he hasn't really gotten very far into the what, how, and why of his argument. So let's look at how this was actually revised in the final essay. This thesis is maybe a little bit on the long side, but it gets the job done. So here he says, although the intense work schedule may be necessary to provide continuous care by a singular physician, the demanding hours can lead to severe sleep deprivation and burnout, which not only affects the residents and their lives, but also the patients that they are seeing. It is the job of a doctor to heal people and to do what is best for the patient at hand. However, the current system is putting these residents in the position where they have to sacrifice their own health along with their patients to receive a medical license. So after reading this, we probably get a much better sense of why the writer holds the stance that he does and how he plans to go about making his argument. So let's think about the components of this thesis that are making it work well. Here we see at the very beginning, he addresses a they say, which is that it's often argued that the intense work schedule of medical residents is necessary because continuous care is important. He also makes a very specific claim. He doesn't just say it's bad like he did before. He says it can lead to sleep deprivation and burnout. So now we have a much more concrete idea of what he's going to be focusing on and why exactly he's arguing it's bad. He goes on further to expound on the why by talking about the effects it has on residents' lives and patients' lives. Then in the final sentence, he gives us sort of a sense of how he's going to make his argument and what his focus is going to be throughout the essay.